stay tuned because for the next 60 minutes, Motorsports Unlimited is on the air. Hi, I'm Jerry Bryant, and these are the lovely ladies of motorsports. And all this hour, we're going to have 60 minutes of action-packed excitement. All kinds of exciting things will happen. And we got the famous Bill Wildt, and we got all kinds of other good stuff that's happening all this hour. Motorsports Unlimited. 60 minutes of non-stop action. So let's go to the studio right now.
Thanks, Jerry, and hi, everybody. Welcome to the studio headquarters of Chicagoland's most watched, most talked about Access Television series.
Excuse me.
I'm Tim Murtaugh.
Excuse me. Hi, I'm Patty Borwitz, and this is the 1031st edition of Motorsports Unlimited. Today we're going to have a little fun. We were lucky this year, the 2006-2007 winter. After a slow start, we actually got to do some snowmobiling, and we timed our snowmobiling programming correctly. As you see this, the snowmobile season is ending. Or is it? Let's have that fun I mentioned.
Unless you are a long-time viewer, today we're going to show you the darndest thing you've ever seen. It's called Snowmobile Watercross. Nearly a decade ago, we went to Lake Delavan, Wisconsin for something called Snowmobile Skipping. As the name implies, it's skipping snowmobiles, but across open water. In the years that have followed, it's become quite a sport. It's called a Snowmobile Watercross now, and they even have pros. If you don't see it, you're not going to believe it. So let's find out more by joining Bill and the girls at Holiday Park in Fox Lake, Illinois.
Boy, have we got something special to show you today. You are probably not going to believe what you see unless you've been watching Motorsports Unlimited for at least 10 years, because it's been about 10 years since we've done a snowmobile skip. So I'm not going to ask you, because I know you know. Susan, do you know what a snowmobile skip is?
No, but I'm going to find out, right, Bill?
Okay, well, you're probably not going to see it here today because I think they're calling it a watercross, and we'll find out why there's a different name for it. But Gloria, how about yourself? You ever hear of snowmobile skipping?
No, it's the first time.
Okay, you do know that snowmobiles don't float though, right?
Correct.
Okay, so how far do you think if we took a snowmobile out in the water here, and Chuck, pan your shot away, we've got a real pretty little lake here. How far do you think if we took a snowmobile out into that water, how far do you think we could go before we'd sink?
Not very far.
Right, because they don't float.
Yeah.
Okay, get the idea, Susan? They don't float.
Right, it's kind of like skipping rocks in the water.
That's exactly right. So what you have to do is you have to hit the water at speed and then don't slow down and see how far you can go. And that's called snowmobile skipping. You're skipping across the water. They're calling it a watercross today, and I've ignored our guests long enough. So first, let's get them in the act, and you are.
I'm Mark Gomall.
And what's your role here today?
I'm Executive Director of the Snowmobile Club and promoter of the Watercross here.
What's the snowmobile club's name?
Riverbend Benders of Cary, Illinois.
Famous old snowmobile club. You guys are responsible for lots of trails and do have a lot of activities, really.
Yes, we do. Charities throughout the year, and we do our part for the community and as well as the snowmobilers in the area.
And you almost, I shouldn't say this, but you're kind of like based out of, or sort of, I think you're out of Broken Oar, aren't you?
No, Riverbend Restaurant in Cary.
Okay, I thought it was Broken Oar that you guys seem to hang around at.
Oh, that's another stop that we go to. There's all kinds of great destinations along our trails.
Well, you're exactly right. Now let me come over here and introduce the other major player, and you are.
I'm Hank Armbrecht.
And your role today?
I'm the president of the Snowmobile Club. I'm also the promoter of the Watercross.
Okay, why are we calling it a watercross instead of a skip?
Because with the snowmobiles, what we're going to do today is we're going to make it all the way across the water rather than just skipping it. In skipping, what we do is in the winter, you just skip a small hole of water in the ice, and what we're going to do is start from ground and go across over to ground on the other side of the lake.
Okay, make sure the audience understands what we're going to do. Chuck, broaden your shot. Take it over here. I want the audience to see this lake. And what we're talking about is vehicles that do not float, that are going to go from this side to the other side without sinking. Although, I've got to say, yes, Peggy?
What's the width of the lake?
The width is about 220 feet, and we widened it a little bit. That was last year. I'd say about 260, 270 right now.
Okay.
My experience with the snowmobile skipping, and I was a little surprised when we covered this, I believe it was at Lake Delavan about 10 years ago. I was absolutely astonished that these guys can not only skip across something like this, but they can actually make a turn. Do you guys do any of that at all?
We don't do the turns. We let that up to the pros.
Well, now, is there a difference? Do we have both pros and amateurs here today?
That's right. We're going to have...
Wait a minute, you're not telling me there's such a thing as a professional snowmobile skipper?
There are professional snowmobile watercrossers, yes. They run in about 7 events throughout the northern Midwest, and is sanctioned by the IWA, the International Watercross Association.
And how do you get to be a pro? How many do you have to sink?
Oh, geez, quite a few. Quite a few a day, as a matter of fact.
So there are pros in this kind of thing now?
Yes, there is, indeed. They do real well. They do ovals. They'll do some amazing things on the snowmobiles that you won't believe. They'll dip them down into the water, and they'll climb back out again. You think they're sunk, and they'll just climb right back out of the water.
Well, this is going to be cool. Yes, Peggy?
I don't think any of the girls have seen it today. I've never witnessed this before. The skipping, yes, but
That's
not
right.
the watercross.
You've been with us for 3 years, but that's not 10 years. You're right. So you haven't seen that. Yes, Gloria.
I can imagine if they're experts on water, what they're like on snow.
Well, that's one of the, by the way, she mentioned snow, and that's the key word today. One of the reasons we're doing this program today, first of all, it's always interesting watching this. It's hard to believe they do that. And I'm going to say this over and over and over on the show today. Do not try to do this. Don't do this at home, folks. I don't know the other way to say it. Snowmobiles don't float. They will sink. Don't watch this program and think you can go run across water because you're going to drown yourself. Am I right?
That's right. It's very dangerous, and that's why we're doing it in a very safe manner here.
Exactly. So don't. I'm going to repeat it again during the program. Don't try this at home. These guys do know what they're doing. And somebody else had a question? I'm sorry.
How many have you sunk, Bill?
No. Yeah, I've sunk one. I've sunk, and believe it or not, no kidding. The last snowmobile thing we did, the water skip that we did, one of the people that was doing it said, well, whatever you do, don't try this with a cleated track snowmobile. And that apparently went in one ear and out the other on mine, because mine was an old Arctic Cat that was a cleated track snowmobile, and he was right. It sunk like a rock. It didn't even skip a little bit. One of the reasons we're doing the program today, though, other than the fact that it's interesting and this is fun to do and all that, is we want you to get ready for the snowmobile season, right?
Absolutely. We're ready.
You guys are already ready.
Yep.
Okay, well, we're still doing boats. In fact, last week we were out on the Illinois River doing a show about how to water ski, so this is a little bit of a culture shock for us, a little bit of a jolt, but it is a good idea to start thinking about getting the sleds ready, right?
No doubt about it. They're still selling boats here. We got some wave runners, we got snowmobiles, we have a swap meet, so there's a lot of things.
Oh, is that all part of this too?
Yes, we have a snow show, brand new machines, used machines.
Wait just a minute, Chuck. We should, while he's talking, broaden your shot. I'm looking around now. I'm starting to see, yes, you actually have, okay, so it's more than just an event. You also have dealers with stuff on display and all that?
Pardon me?
I'm sorry. We were distracting there for a moment. So we actually have manufacturers. This is a very big deal then, almost like the snowmobile shows that they have. I'm trying to think in Grays Lake and in Milwaukee and all that.
Indeed so, yes. We're not as large as they are, but definitely a good show to come to.
Okay, folks.
The Watercross.
I can't wait to see it. It's 7:30 in the morning. I can't wait to see these races begin.
Yeah, we're absolutely dying, folks. I don't get up ever before 10 o'clock in the morning. I was up at 3 this morning to come and do this, so you know this has got to be pretty special. Anything else we want to tell the folks before we get underway? Now, there are amateurs and there are pros. As I understand it, the amateurs are going to go off first and the professionals are going to go off. Have I got it right?
That's correct.
Okay.
And I will be the first amateur to cross this morning.
You personally do this?
I will do it this morning.
What kind of sled?
I have an XLT Polaris.
Now, have you done this before?
I did it last year, and I tried it last night and made it about halfway across the lake.
Did you sink it?
I sank it last night.
Okay, we better tell the audience right off the bat what happens when you sink them.
Yeah.
What happened was we have 2 pontoon boats here. They're specially rigged with winches on them. One of the pontoon boats was nice enough to come over and get me out of the lake and drag me over to the shoreline. And with the help of about 6 other people, I drug it over on shore here, and we drained out the crankcase and drained out the carburetors and got it running.
And it is amazing. They will start up and go again.
They will start up and go again. I actually crossed some water again last night.
Peggy?
Well, that kind of answered my question, because I was going to ask Hank, how much damage does that do each time you sink it?
Well, let me explain this. First of all, yes, you're right. These are mechanical vehicles, and yes, you better go over with WD-40, but they get them out so quickly and get the water out so quickly and get them running again so quickly, it doesn't really do any damage.
Didn't do any damage at all.
Okay, so yes.
So to me, it seems like there is a system that you have, that you do, that if it does sink, you just drain everything and then you know exactly what to do, so there is no major damage, right?
Correct?
That's correct. With the help of some of the pros, we got it drained out very quickly. So,
Susan.
Real nice.
Yeah, I just want to add, I've gone to Holiday Park a lot, and it's great to see it like this all set up for snowmobiles, because I'm just used to seeing people swimming in there.
I must admit, I'm apparently the only person in the world that doesn't know about Holiday Park, and as I made inquiry, because every girl says, yeah, we know Holiday Park. I never heard of it, and now I know the reason, because normally, outside of today's event, normally, they don't have any motorized stuff here. There's no motorboats out on the water and all that, so obviously, Bill Wildt is I'm not going to know about it. In any event, pardon me, Peg?
Try the swimming pool over there.
No, I want to swim off the boat, you know. But anyway, folks, we got to get out of the way now, because you can see we're right in the entrance to this thing. These guys are going to get set up, because in a very few short minutes, we are going to have snowmobiles. And Chuck, once again, broaden your shot, show the audience here. And the starting point is right here. Am I looking at the right place?
This is the end of the drags, actually.
This is the end. Okay, so the starting point is on the other side of the water?
Correct.
Okay, folks, from the other side of the water, they're going to take off and come across here. Yes, Peggy?
So the numbers here, is this the starting, is that the lineup, and then each one?
Those are the lanes.
Oh,
Wait, say it again?
Those are the lanes.
Those are the lanes. I'm sure as soon as we see them run, we'll get the idea what they're doing. Folks, it is time for us to get get going now, and these guys have to get back to work, and we've got to try to find a good camera location. You're going to enjoy this. Don't go away.
We were really looking forward to it. It's hard to imagine snowmobiles on open water. While we were waiting for the first attempt, we took a moment to introduce ourselves.
Hi, I'm Susan Russell.
I'm Peggy O'Donnell.
And I'm Gloria Walters.
Thank you, girls. As we finished introducing ourselves, we saw that Hank was in position for the first run of the day. Watch.
Here he goes. Come on, Hank, keep it going. Look at that little kid cat on top. The cat's holding him down. He's got a lot of bounce around there. There's an indication of what we got. Let's give him a big hand, folks.
Unbelievable! Unmodified snowmobiles going across open water. No wonder these guys warned everyone not to try this at home. Let's watch a few more of the amateur runs.
Power to do it. He's got this crushing set up. Here he goes. There he goes. Get it, Swan. Next up in line, get it, Swan.
I can't believe this is even possible.
He's going to play it out now. If you do on the water. Well, that's what kind of started the sport was canoes. And he's going right on across here. Oh, that's a nice smooth race. Sign him up. Sign him up. Looks like he's ready to go on circuit. That's him.
By now you are probably thinking that everybody makes it. Not true. Watch.
Hill Kaufman from Lake in the Hill, Illinois on the 94 Arctic Cat DR. Oh, I'm kind of sorry here. Come on, come on. Well, birthday Billy got a little bit wet. Happy birthday to you.
They have a cool way of recovering the underwater sleds, and we'll show it to you in a moment on one in which we had a better camera angle. Right now, let's watch the more amateur runs.
Let somebody else have the opportunity. Here we go with the James Horse. James Horse from Huge Lake, Illinois. Running Rick Rosendahl again from Ingleside, right here locally on the 93 Polaris Storm. He's getting a few bounces there for out. It is Jeff Boulevard from Anico, Illinois. He's on a 95 Polaris 600 XCR. Not bad at all, Jeff. I believe we got somebody else. Who we got there? Tom Nathan coming down. Well, he looks nice and smooth. He didn't want to turn around look where he was going. Hey, Tom. Don't look in back of you. Look in front of you. By the way, the weather forecast today is great. No rain, supposedly. He's looking smooth there, Ed. Got that stand-up position nailed down. Way to go, Mike.
Sometimes the amateurs get cocky and want to emulate the pros.
He's going to try it. He was thinking about turning. He wants to try it. There's a wipeout here coming.
While they pull that one out of the drink, let's take a moment to chat with the man that made the first run of the day.
We've got the president of the club, and once again, remind the audience who you are.
Hank Armbrecht?
Hank, you made it across. You were the guy coming across on the first run of the day.
That's right.
Was there any doubt in your mind going across?
A little bit after last night, but it came across pretty good.
And we do have one guy here, or two guys now, that have gone down and gone under.
That's right, and I know what it feels like.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I found out a little bit about this. Folks, you're not going to believe what you're going to see here today. I found out more about this, something you guys didn't say. You're going to do drag racing here later and oval track on the water.
That's correct. The professionals are going to do both drag racing and oval racing. Their hits reach speeds of about 55 miles an hour.
Well, this is very cool. This is what do you think so far?
I can't wait to. It's exciting. I like it.
And Peggy already wants to do it, and so does Gloria, right?
Yeah.
These guys already want to do it. We're not going to let them do it, and we've got to get back because I think they've got another sled ready to go. I just wanted you to see Hank's fine.
Did I hear him right? The pros drag race across the water and have oval races? I can hardly wait. Right now, let's watch some more of the amateurs.
And she's off, going to the East Coast now. There she is. She is not going to stop. And here comes Janice Mello on a rough 12 sled. Here's Janice. Oh, Janice. Keep it straight. That's no problem. That's Greg Mason, Dan, from local area here. Looking kind of tough there for Greg. I know. Greg, I'd be a little bit embarrassed to second there after them two ladies made it across. Greg, maybe Denise can give you a hand with some pointers.
We mentioned earlier that they had a cool way of retrieving the sleds that didn't make it. Let's take a look.
The auspices of a closed race course. That's exactly right. I'm sure the Riverbenders would be more than happy to have you come out and try it next year. No, it looks like there's another Polaris up there at the top of the runway waiting for this sled to get removed. And should be coming down as soon as we find out who this is.
Pretty neat, huh? Now let's check out a few of the return passes.
Didn't touch the water. That's what he's got some experience. Joe. There you go. Bumping Joe Rogers. Enough bounces left to make it all the way. Randy, don't let up on it. Don't let up on it. Randy, I'll let up on Randy.
You see, not everybody makes it. So let us repeat. Don't try this at home. Enough said. Now, a few minutes later, there was a break in the action to retrieve a failed return attempt, and Bill had some big news.
Guess what? They asked us if one of the girls wanted to try this. Gloria wanted to try it. Peggy wanted to try it. Gloria, unfortunately, doesn't know how to ride a snowmobile. But Peggy, you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what are you saying?
I think we're going to have you try this. What do you think?
Really?
Well, maybe we're going to have you take a ride in the back first, and then you tell me what you think, whether you can do it or not.
I'm for it. Hey, if I could fly a powered parachute, this would be fun to fly across the water.
Okay, but remember, we can't get these costumes wet.
Well, if I'm riding in the back, I have no control. So if he's
better have control or don't come back.
I can't control it if I'm on the back. Well,
Gloria?
why don't you
If she's not up for it, I'll give it a shot.
Well, the problem is you don't know how to ride a snowmobile, and I would like to ultimately have the girl take the snowmobile across.
I can always get a quick lesson.
No, we need the snow, and you'll see come wintertime, you'll see you're going to learn how to ride snowmobiles. Anyhow, folks, You'll be the first to know how this comes out.
Of course I was excited about it, but I was concerned about getting the costume wet. Bill would kill me. Let's watch a couple more amateur passes while they organize a ride for me. They found one of the top pros in the country, Jeff Moyle, to give me a ride across. Bill was confident he wouldn't dunk me. Trust me, he's concerned about the costume, not me.
These various apparatuses, Jeff will be standing up behind us. Here they come. There's 2 people on this sled. There she is. Now you give them a wave, everybody. Taking her around the corner. There you go. Taking her around the corner. There you go. Now that's a show. That's a show. Had to give her just a little bit of a scare there at the end.
Boy, was I surprised when he made the turn. The pros are really good. I only wish the ride lasted a little longer. We moved our equipment to the pit area to talk to some of the pros, beginning with the man that just gave me the ride.
Well, I have to thank Jeff over here for a fantastic ride I've never experienced before. We're going to meet him and his crew in just a second. First, we're going to get his last name and where he's from. Hi, Jeff. What's your last name?
Moyle.
And you're from?
Houghton, Michigan.
Okay, let me meet the rest of your crew, okay? Hi, what's your name?
I'm Andy Moyle from Houghton, Michigan.
Brothers, I see.
We're brothers.
Wonderful. Okay, hi, what's your name?
Gary Moyle from Houghton, Michigan.
How many brothers are there?
3.
Hi, sir, what's your name?
Roger Trudgeon.
And you're from?
South Range, Michigan.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, and your name?
Todd Lefebvre from Lena, Wisconsin.
Okay, now who does most of the technical work here?
That'd be me.
So did you teach everybody what they know? Did you bring them up from, have you been with them a long time?
They've learned a lot on their own, and I help teach them and keep their machines running to top performance.
And it's something that they want to learn, and then if they can have the skills to work on it, go for it, right?
They're all very skilled drivers, and they appreciate the power, and I see that from them all.
Well, I could see that he's very experienced by the ride he just gave me, so we're going to find out more. I'm going to explain it to the audience how it felt. First of all, I want to say, yes. Did you want? Oh, I thought you were tapping me. I'm sorry. It was the most awesome ride I've ever experienced, besides my powered parachute flight. What I didn't see was a whole lot of the race because when I was holding on, I didn't know exactly where to hold on to. And then my helmet was flipping up and down. But it was an excellent ride. How did you like it?
It was different. It's a lot of fun. The whole sled thing's a lot of fun. When they stand up on end like that, that's the best part. You know.
No, I really didn't get to see it myself, so I want to see this on film. I haven't seen it yet because we're doing the interviews now. But no, I want you to tell me about these behind me here. Are these all Polaris?
Yep, all Polaris XCR 700s. Pro 5 built the chassis, and Snow Shack Performance Center out of Merrill, Wisconsin built the motors. They're great watercross sleds.
And these are getting you in the high in the point standings, right?
Yeah, they're getting us there.
And where are you at now?
Overall, I'm 10th in Pro Ovals. It's my first year in Pro Ovals. Last year I was Rookie of the Year in Semi-Pro, and I jumped up, and it's been going pretty good.
Wow, that's wonderful. And here, this one at the end doesn't look like anything I've ever seen before. Could you explain it?
Yeah, it's called a Snowmobile Wheeler. It's a conversion kit for a snowmobile into a four-wheeler. It's for up our end where it's snow 9 months out of the year. It's great.
Well, see, we've ridden 4x4s from the show with Bill, and they're awesome. So I can imagine what kind of a ride this is. Is it more like a snowmobile or a 4x4?
It's better than a 4x4, but it's kind of a cross. It rides better than a four-wheeler, though. I guarantee that.
I think it's really cool looking. So do you have any particular favorite here, or no? You just kind of ride them all, whichever one you don't?
There, that 113 that's the best one there.
What's the difference between them?
They're pretty much all the same. It's just each of us has our own, and we all do our own thing. And
Now, do any of you guys race here?
Yeah.
You got okay. Tell me about it. Where do you race? Are you in any point standings today or no?
Well, no, I won't be running today. I had a lot of trouble this whole season. I just started, and that's my sled right there.
Oh, okay, that's neat. Sorry, guys. There's rocks all around me.
And then I broke a ski today and sunk in practicing here in the morning. So.
Oh no. Do you prefer I noticed that there's a hill. And I think some are more flat. Is there a preference to going down the hill versus a flat? Because this is my first time ever seeing this. This is really neat. Do you have a preference?
Flat's better. When you hit the water, when you raise up like that, it doesn't happen when it's flat, but when there's a little bit of an incline, it lifts the front end up when you hit the water.
Yeah, because my question, I was looking at you guys racing, and I'm wondering how you would get that feeling of when you first hit the water and taking off versus the flat. It's just amazing.
Right, when it's at an angle, you hit and you bounce up pretty high, like we did.
Right. Yes, Susan?
No fair, Peggy, that you got to go.
Well, why don't you try it sometime?
Well, only if he comes with me on for the ride.
Okay, because you got to do something. You got to quit being so chicken. Okay, now listen. Bill, come on in. He's dying to get in here. I'm talking too long, finally.
No, real quick, by the way, you loved your ride.
I loved it. I want to do it again. It went by too fast. But I'm not quite ready to go myself, especially that hill. I don't know if I could go down that hill and go across.
Okay, now we're seeing the real Peggy, but we had the right guy here. As soon as I saw him working out there, I said, this is the right guy to do it. One thing real quick I want to point out, and then we've got to move on. Chuck, broaden your shot. Take a look at this really elaborate trailer that they've got here. Big, very impressive fifth wheel trailer. And as you come back with your shot, you see the whole array of snowmobiles that they've got. And on top of that, we've got a very large team. I don't know if it was established your role with the team.
Pit crew guy.
Your role?
Technician for the machines.
Okay, who builds the engines?
It comes from another source.
Another, more than just what we got here.
That's correct.
And your role with the machine?
Driver.
You drive also?
Yeah. Yes.
And he drives?
Yes.
And you drive?
I'm a driver too.
So everybody, you three drive and you guys do the work. Okay. The point I'm trying to make is when I first saw this at Lake Delavan, this snowmobile skipping at Lake Delavan some 10 years ago, I would have never imagined that it has turned into this. This is absolutely unbelievable. And I've got news for you. These aren't the only guys that operate at this level. There's a bunch of guys here that are operating like you guys are.
Oh, that's the top 10 pro guys are all about the same. You know, it's all
very, very cool. Where do you stand in the points?
I was 5th and now I'm 10th. I had a bad race last weekend, and that's how quick things can change. You know.
Tight, close points battle.
Oh yeah, you got to be consistent, and you can't have an off weekend. That's why everything's hopefully it'll go good here, and we'll be back up there.
Are you guys in the points also?
Yeah, I'm really far behind in my class.
Okay, and you?
I'm pretty low in the points right now myself.
So you're letting the brother take all the spotlight?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, yeah, because you got to run up front. Peggy.
I can't imagine how your adrenaline feels going around it. Mine is still up just from the ride.
Well, if you want to go again, we'll go again, and after the racing, we can really go.
Should I burst this bubble?
No.
Should I burst it?
No.
Married and 3 children. Folks, we've got a lot more to show you. Don't go away.
The amateur competition was from 8 o'clock in the morning and finished at 11. The pros were about to start, but we wanted to meet a few of them first.
I don't know anything about this, but let's find out. Hi, what's your name?
Mark Mackey,
And where are you from?
Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota.
Great. And what is your name, sir?
My name's Larry Cashman, and I'm from South St. Paul, Minnesota.
Wonderful. Let's find out more about this gentleman over here. Hi, sir. What is your name?
Phil Cashman,
And where are you from?
Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota.
Okay, let's have Bill take over and we'll find out more all about this.
That's right, because Susan is still afraid that I'm going to have her taking one of those trips across the water, right? And you don't want any part of that.
That's right, Bill.
I know, she's a chicken. Susan is a chicken on our show. If you would step right over here. I know, she's standing there one foot on the other. She wants to go. Again, I want to point out, broaden the shot. Take a look at this great team uniforms, everything. I cannot believe what has happened to what we used to call skipping. This has gotten to be very, very serious. First of all, how long have you been doing it?
This is my 21st year.
Ah, gee, I thought it just started 10 years ago.
No, I was 15 when I started, and I'm 35 now, so it's been a while.
Did you ever think this would happen to it?
No, when I started out, I didn't, I kind of wondered, will this last a couple years or what's going to happen? And it's grown. It's a legitimate racing now. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, we're going to find out about that very shortly, folks. As I said before, when I came here, I thought we were going to see snowmobile skipping across an open section of water. And as it turns out, we're going to see a whole lot more than that. The pros actually drag race, and as I understand it, they do it 3 at a time. And then they also run an oval track course. Am I correct?
Yep, then the pro ovals and semi-pro ovals, we run 4-lap heats and an 8-lap final.
How many guys in an oval race?
There's 3 or 4.
Why don't we put 10 out there and have some fun?
Oh, that might be too much fun.
Yeah, just a thought. Now, hold on just a minute. I want to get the roll of the rest of the team. You're obviously the driver, right?
Well, I'm one of the drivers, and Phil over here is my teammate.
Oh, so both of you guys drive?
Yep.
Okay, because I was going to say, these are the smallest, lightest guys got to do that. The big guys like me and this guy, we got to build the engines, right?
Yeah, I just come along, help out, do whatever I can do to help these guys out. It's a lot of work.
Okay, oh, it sure is. Pit work. Now, I notice you guys have, Skidoo, so it must mean you have the Rotax motors.
That's right.
Okay, nice motor.
Definitely a nice motor.
Yeah, very, very definitely. I'm a big rotary valve Rotax fan, although you guys are probably running triples or something?
No, these are all twins in here.
So you're running the rotary motor?
Yes.
Okay, great rotary valve motor. Let me come over here. Yeah, another guy small and light. Yeah, this guy can be a driver too. Where are you in the point stand? Now, this is going to be awkward because if you guys both run the same class and everything, you must be competitors.
Yep, we are. Right now I'm standing in third place for the ovals.
Now, do you separate that? Ovals?
Ovals and the drags are separated, two different.
Okay, so you run ovals and you're third in the point standing?
Yep.
And how about drags?
Actually, I'm not even in the drag running, really.
He runs some drag racing, but he's nowhere, not in the points.
Right. I like to run the ovals more than the drag, so I more concentrate on the ovals.
Hard to believe they actually do an oval on the water. It's absolutely incredible. And yourself, how are you doing in the point standing?
Oh, I locked up the season point yesterday by qualifying for today, so not too bad.
Well, congratulations are in order. So you're the 1997 champion then?
Yep.
Well, congratulations. That's big time. Now, is that in drag racing or in the oval?
Well, actually, I won them both yesterday.
Wow.
Really? Well, congratulations are in order. That's terrific. Have you done that before?
Yeah, I think I've won the high point 11 times, so that's why I've been at it.
No wonder he's not so excited here. I would think he'd be real excited, but let me ask your partner here. I bet you'd be pretty excited if you'd locked up both of them like 11 times.
Oh, definitely. Yep. It'd be a good feeling, but yeah, he's been in it a long time. This is my 7th year, so.
That's kind of a long time too.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen to both you guys that you don't know yet. We're going to have some 15-year-old come along that weighs about 92 pounds, and he's going to end up taking it away, and that's inevitably what happens. Yes, Peggy?
I just have a question. When you go to take off, when do you hit the throttle full to stay up on so you don't sink?
As soon as the flag drops, you open her up.
That's okay.
You don't lift at all?
Nope, you wide open to the first corner.
Okay, what about in the corner? You lift in the corner?
Yep, you got to lift there, get it set down and hooked, and then you open it back up again.
So you actually get that kind of feeling on water?
Yeah, it's racing, just like any other form of racing.
I would almost think if you lifted the throttle, though, on this kind of a thing, you'd lose the skip part of it and the thing would sink.
Yeah, we got the clutches and the motors dialed in where they pull real well and they back shift good, so you can probably keep afloat at about 30 miles an hour. We're going about 65 out here in the straight.
Well, I'll tell you something, folks. This is a guy I listened to, many-time champion. We've got some more folks to talk to. We've got to move along, but congratulations.
Imagine that. We quite by accident selected the 1997 champion to help us understand the sport. As we were finishing the interview, it started to rain, so we ducked under a tent and found the president of the International Watercross Association to explain further.
Well, we've got one of the busiest guys here today, although I can't say that because all the officials here, this is a really, really wonderful event, and I really am embarrassed that I didn't know about it. First of all, you are?
My name is Dan Van Kirk. I'm from Des Plaines, Illinois.
Oh, really? Now, what's the guy from Des Plaines, Illinois doing with a sport that I would think is primarily a northern sport? I see a lot of people here from Minnesota and like that.
Well, I originally started in Indiana and then went to Alaska for a number of years, and they done a demo event of this back in 1985 in Elkhart, Indiana, my hometown, and I got stuck with it. After that, it's kind of like a drug. Once you get your first fix of riding on a snowmobile across the water, it's kind of addicting. I think Peggy could probably testify to that.
Oh, yeah.
She had a great time.
When I was doing the interview, I was still shaking. It was so cool. Oh, I loved it.
It really is, but now yourself, do you actually compete yourself then?
Well, since I've been the president for the last 3 years, it's been very busy, and I just don't have time to race anymore.
Now, what are you the president of?
I'm the president of the International Watercross Association, which is the drivers that put this show on.
Exactly. Now, again, we're starting to learn more and more as we go here today because we talked earlier to Hank and Mark are involved with the river, help me?
They're with the river benders. They're actually here putting this individual event on. The IWA, which I'm the president of the drivers, we put 7 of these on this year. This is our 7th one.
Okay, so you work with those guys and you do your part of it and they do the amateur part of it and all that?
Well, we basically handle the water portion in the pit area. They handle all the vendors, the tickets, handling people like you to bring us to the show. We just handle the water portion of the show, put the show part on.
Okay, now Chuck, as we're doing this, I want people to understand this is very serious racing, and this is hard to explain because right now we're huddled under a tent because it's starting to rain quite hard actually, and we've got the camera set on manual. I want to see if we can do this. Pan your shot around here. I want to show you that this racing is like the same as every other form of racing. They've got pit areas, they've got trailers, they've got people thrashing in between events, people that have gone out and, as I understand it, they just went and shook the sleds down a little bit and they're probably making changes now.
That's exactly correct. A lot of them want to go out and do some fine-tuning testing of their clutching and their motors and do last-minute changes, try to become a little bit more competitive because yesterday was qualifying. Now today we get down for the serious run, running for cash.
So this is the time. Is there money involved in this?
Oh, there's lots of money. In this event alone, we're going to be handing out about $9,000 for this event alone. Plus the year-end points at the end of the season, we're going to be handing out close to $25,000.
I can't. This is redundant, and I keep saying this over and over again. I remember when I saw my first snowmobile skip back in Delavan, Wisconsin, and this was about 10 years ago. I had no idea this would happen.
Well, it's come a long ways in the 12 years that I've been involved in it, so it's really kind of neat.
Okay, Susan?
Yeah, I'm wondering, how does this show differ from the other shows? You said there were 7 other shows. Are there any specific differences?
Well, each event, Susan, lends its own unique characteristics because of the different sizes and shapes of the pond, the different communities. Each promoter offers different venues, different things that attract the crowd. Sometimes we have helicopters, some places we have fireworks. Sometimes they're in a downtown area park. In this particular case, we're in this park here. This particular facility is quite unique because the way it's laid out, there really isn't a bad place to set in the whole park. Any place you set, you can view the racing action.
And I must tell you, I had never really heard of Holiday Park, and every one of the girls heard about it. Matter of fact, you're a member, and you bring your kids here all the time.
Right, for the water slides.
And I'm going to tell you something. This is a beautiful facility. It's really nice.
Holiday Park is still there, but it is no longer a public facility. In the 10 years since this was taped, it's been turned into a housing development.
I'd love to see it grow more and more. This is great.
Thanks for spending time with us. We can't hear anything anymore. The sleds are getting ready to go out and run, so we've got to get back so we can get some action footage. Don't go away, folks.
The rain turned out to be just a quick shower, and the pro drag racers were ready to go. Wow, as you can see, the pros made it look easy. By the way, the finish line is the orange buoys about 2/3 of the way across. Also check out how little time the pros spent on the return runs.
Mac is in, Boyle's out. John McNally's in. And Jeff Boyle will now turn his attention to the oval course.
Despite how easy they make it look, don't try this yourself. It could be very dangerous, especially in cold water. Now, the show is about to formally begin, starting with the national anthem. Now, let's check out some pro drag racing action. The racing was fast and furious and took place in rapid-fire fashion. We were all impressed with how well organized this event was.
Folks, you would not believe the amount of work that goes into the preparation for each run, and they do it literally in seconds. Every single time a group pulls out or a run is made, these guys jump in, throw in more dirt, pat it down to be ready for the next group. If they didn't do this, in 2 or 3 runs, all you'd have would be a trench. In addition to that, Chuck, if you would, bring your shot over here. We've got these backboards that get placed behind the sleds every time because the spray is so intense that if they didn't do this, all the sand would be built up behind them. I hope you can hear me, folks. You would not believe how much effort goes into this, and yet they're running this thing off one after another in an almost unbelievable pace. I am very impressed with how rapidly this program runs.
The action never stopped. Let's look at a little more.
Unbelievable. While we watch, let's take a moment to acknowledge those who helped update this material for 2007. Our webmaster, Frank Barbalace, Rena Borowitz, Sue Casanda, Samantha Bentley, Janine Lauschat, May Chin, and me, I'm Patty Borowitz, in stunned disbelief.
Bill was so impressed with how well the sleds flew across the water, he asked us to find out what kind of modifications the sleds had.
We have the points champion here, and he's going to explain to us a little bit about how to prepare to get it on the water. What's your name?
Mark Mackey,
And where are you from?
Inver Grove Heights.
Hey, can you tell me a little bit about how to prepare to get it on the water?
Well, the main thing we do is remove all the unnecessary equipment, get rid of the seat because that's a big sponge in case you sink it, waterlogs it. All the electronic gauges that you don't need, the switches and so on, that'll get full of water and short out. Mainly it's lighten the thing up and make it as quick as possible, but there's a lot of unnecessary stuff like the brake light switch, kill switch. You only want a tether switch on there. In case it would get wet, you only want as few things on there that can give you problems that's possible. But there's a lot of other things that making it light is the key ingredient, making it fast and staying afloat.
Okay, let's bring Bill in and see if he can explain a little more.
Okay, I think I understand what you're saying. Actually, good point. Most of it is protection if you drop the thing in the water. And I am assuming you're talking about modified sleds when you're talking about lighting, making it lighter and all that. In a stock sled, though, do you have to change? Can you use the slide rail suspension? Can you use the bogey wheel suspension? Or is it all slide rails or all bogey wheels? Or help me.
Well, in this day and age, everything's slide suspension. The basic stock snowmobiles, if you got 600 cc's or bigger, they go real well. Mainly you want to do the seat and stuff just in case you would sink, but they go across pretty decent the way they are, but I don't recommend doing it unless you're at a race where you got the safety equipment of the pontoon and the retriever and the divers.
Well, we certainly second that. We've been mentioning that during the course of the program. Don't try this at home, right?
Exactly. I never go testing or practicing without a retriever.
Okay, so no other special modifications. There's nothing else you have to get off the sled. It's not like when you go grass drag racing where you have to build a new suspension or anything like that.
Nope, not at all. The trail.
And they've got a run going off behind us right now. We'll wait just for a moment and go ahead.
The trail stock racers have to leave the sled pretty much stock. They can mod the motor, but that's it. Otherwise, this whole sled has to be stock.
So this is probably the easiest kind of snowmobile racing to do then if you don't really have to change anything on it.
Right, they'll make it across. We just got to rejet and clutch for the warmer temperatures.
Right, all the normal stuff you would have to do typically, but you don't have to really, no flotation devices allowed, I assume.
Nope, just a marker. Like I have a seat that floats that if you sink, that's got to float. Other than that, there's no flotation allowed.
Okay, folks, you heard it from the points champion. Really very little modification as far as the general overall layout.
As we completed that interview, the oval track events were beginning. You haven't seen anything yet. Do you believe that? Remember, these are snowmobiles. They don't float and will sink if you slow down. Watch some more.
I still can't believe this is even possible.
Check out the amount of traction, if that's the right word, these slides have as they carry the skis under power.
one more thing. Now I'm sure of it. Guys are definitely crazy.
Absolutely unbelievable. We wish we could bring you all of the racing, but it went on for some 8 hours. You have to come in person to see everything. We can only give you a taste. It's time to wrap things up.
Boy, what an event. I don't know. Susan, what do you think? You believe what you saw today?
No, it was fabulous.
I'm telling you something. What do you think, Gloria?
There's a lot going on. It's interesting.
Not just a lot going on. I've got to tell you guys something. I know you don't have a lot to do with this, but you probably have something to do with part of it. We go to motorsport events every single day, or every single week, 52 weeks a year. I cannot remember when we've come across an event as well run as this one. The races popped off, bang, bang, bang. Folks, you had to be here. The audience was continually entertained. I don't think there was ever more than 5 minutes downtime when they were pulling one out of the water, and the rest of the time, did you guys have anything to do with that, or was that all the other group with the...
Well, the IWA did a lot of it to keep it going. They do a fabulous job. We need to keep the guests and everyone happy, but IWA did a fabulous job.
They really did, and I'm going to tell you something. We go to lots of motorsport events, and I'm going to tell you something. I cannot remember the last time we've had one that really popped off that quickly. The biggest star of the event, of course, was you. You made the first pass across the water today, but I'm going to tell you something. We were impressed when we saw that, but we were not impressed when we started watching the pros. You weren't nearly as good as they are.
Yeah, I don't hold a candle to them, that's for sure.
But you look like you were having fun out there.
Had a great deal of fun. It's always a pleasure to be the first one, and I think as president, I have the right to go first.
Right. Well, some people wouldn't call it a right. They would kind of call it a burden.
That it is.
Okay, we want to mention a couple things here real quick. First of all, I found out a bunch of things since I've been here today. This is an annual event?
Correct.
Always the same time every year?
Yes, it'll be the second weekend in September.
Okay, we don't have a date for next year?
The 12th and 13th.
12th and 13th of 1998, I should tell folks, depending on when you're seeing this program. One other thing I want to say too, I'm sorry, I did not know about Holiday Park. I know that you are a member. Your kids come out here for the water slides all the time. Chuck, broaden your shot, swing out here just a little bit. This is an absolutely lovely place. You know the reason I've never heard of it is they don't have motors here.
They do now. They have for the last 2 years, and they will continue with it.
When you have your event, you mean?
Absolutely.
Okay, but normally it's sort of for paddle boats and right. Swimmers and all that, right?
Quiet and relaxation.
Exactly. That's why I didn't know about it, but you guys all knew about it.
I just knew about it from Susan.
Okay.
She told me about it. But on your comment earlier with how well they just had the snowmobiles come out 1, 2, 3, perfect.
Perfect. No,
it was a great job.
It was just a wonderful job. It was really, really well run. And I know I'm 54 years old. I've been involved in the organization things myself, and I can tell you those things don't just happen. You guys are to be congratulated. I can't say enough about it. You talk about a rapid fire, keep them entertained, bang, 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 and you had Wall Chicago out here.
Yes, we had a great day, I think.
I think you had a wonderful day, and what a crowd, a huge crowd here today. Really, really nice. Real quick, I know there's a couple of people that you'd like to thank.
Yeah, sure. Shell Oil helped us out a great deal. So did the local snowmobile dealers. Route 12, for instance, Nielsen Enterprises, F&R. Actually, the list is countless, but everybody came out and gave us great, great support.
You're exactly right. And again, one of the reasons we want to do this program is we want to get you revved up for the snowmobile season. We're close. Even though it's a beautiful day today, we're not that far away, are we?
No, we're not.
We're not. So get those sleds ready, guys. It's time now. As a matter of fact, I think, well, this will be on the air after that, but the big show in Grace Lake is coming up very quickly too, right?
This coming week.
That's right, and that always gets by me. It's always over because it seems like we're still doing boating shows when they have that one, but maybe we'll catch the one up in Milwaukee. Anything else that you want to tell the folks, Hank?
I just want to thank all the Riverbend vendors for their support and all the snowmobilers that came out to see us here. Come on out next year. We're going to have a better show next year for you.
Well, I'll tell you something. It couldn't get much better. These guys did a great job.
I told you at the beginning of the show this was going to be the darndest thing you've ever seen. Any arguments? Unfortunately, we're out of time with only enough left to acknowledge the fine work of our award-winning production team, including Chuck Itzenthaler, John Papke, and Tom McGrady. Special thanks to JBTV's Jerry Bryant. Music is created for us by Fireside Recording Studio in Westchester, Illinois, and by independent artists Roger Pauley and Jerry Herbert. Of course, we have to take a moment to thank the stars of this edition of Motorsports Unlimited: Susan Russell, Gloria Walters, Peggy O'Donnell, and our host, Bill Wildt. Me, I'm Tim Murtaugh with one final word of caution. Do not, under any circumstances, try this stuff on your own. Snowmobiles don't float, and doing something like this without proper supervision, instruction, and safety equipment and personnel could be fatal. Enough said. Thanks for watching. See you next week.
This program made possible in part by support from Copy That, located in the County Farm Plaza at County Farm Road and Army Trail Road in Carroll Stream, Illinois. This program made possible in part by support from PB Food Products, located on 47th Street at Western Avenue in Chicago, Illinois.
This program made possible in part by support from J.C. Whitney & Company, located just off I-80 at the Utica exit in LaSalle, Illinois.
Motorsports Unlimited is produced by Bill Wildt, president of the Motorsport Advancement Crusade.
This program made possible in part by support from Jimmy's Red Hots, located on Grant Avenue and Pulaski Road in Chicago.
This program made possible in part by support from the Chicagoland Toys for Tots Motorcycle Parade, held on Western Avenue in Chicago, the first Sunday in December.
This program made possible in part by support from ABC Auto Parts, located on Ashland Avenue at 138th Street in Blue Island, Illinois.
This program made possible in part by support from Bridgestone Firestone and your local Bridgestone Firestone tire retailers.
Motorsports Unlimited was created to raise public consciousness, understanding, and appreciation of the motorsport community and their activities. You can contact us by email at msutv.com, or you can write to Motorsport, P.O. Box 66242, Chicago, Illinois, 60666. We enjoy hearing from our audience. Please let us know what you think.
Next week on Motorsports Unlimited, it's snowmobiling on the Chain of Lakes. I know. This was supposed to be our last snowmobile show, but an unexpected blast of winter has extended the season. Next week, there will be more than just riding. We'll have some tech stuff, too, all next week on Motorsports Unlimited.
So that's it, another edition of Motorsports Unlimited and the lovely ladies of motorsports. And be with us next week because we'll have something real exciting. Bill Wildt's going to have the lovely ladies, and just about anything can happen right here on Motorsports Unlimited. Every week at this time, we bring you the best in motorsports. So be seeing ya. Bye-bye. And keep on rocking.